right troops, wakey wakey, eggs and bakey. So today you are going to see how I live my life and centre it around training burpees and resistance training or weights, whatever I decide to do on any given day and what my limited free time allows me to work within. So how do I start my day? Well, we all start our day with a bit of breakfast, and I like to make sure that I am properly fueled with some healthy stuff. Healthy stuff. What is healthy? How do we eat healthy food in the morning? Well, the conventional Western wisdom is to start your day with a cereal. Maybe a bowl of Cocoa Pops, maybe a bowl of Honey Hoops or something of that nature. However, on this occasion, I'm going to buck the Scottish trend and start my day with eggs. Eggs are one of the most nutritious foods known to man, and I am a firm believer that anything that comes from an animal is good for you because we are hunters. So I plan today to hit the gym. The kids are off school because there's a strike in Scotland. Sorry? You do you? And when you make these videos as well, you've also got to contend with your children getting involved in the mix.
That's eggs.
Eggs?
Yeah, these are eggs.
Yeah, these eggs. Are we going to make some eggs? Are we going to make some eggs, big boy? Are you my baby? Are you my little baby? You're a big boy, aren't you? You're a big boy. Right, watch this. So how do we start the eggathon? How do we start it? We start it with cracking these bad boys because I like an omelette. Yeah.
I will help you.
Will you help me?
Yeah. I'm going to help you.
3 eggs, how I start my day. Usually 4 or 5, but today I'm feeling a bit tired. So I'm going to go with 3. Do you want to help? Go and put them in the bin. Because that's what you're doing, that's how you're helping. So we whisk the eggs in a Pyrex jug. Now I'm a big believer that when you cook food, you want to make it as efficient as possible. I don't want to be slaving over a hot stove. I don't want to be sitting there garnishing. I just want food in my system quickly so I can continue my daddy duties. However, on this occasion, I am being interrupted by the big boy.
Yeah.
The big boy.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you want to see your daddy put his eggs in the oven? Or the gas hob?
The oven.
The oven. Now when I start my eggs, I like to get them fired up in a wok with some unsalted, grass-fed Kerrygold butter, just to kind of create that lubricant for the eggs to ensure they don't stick to the pan. Now as you can see, that butter is about to take shape and allow me to pour those beautiful Scottish eggs into the pan to create that wholesome Scottish breakfast. So now we have the eggs. They go straight into the wok. Always keep the gas down low so that the eggs can just slightly bubble. Cook slowly because there's nothing more annoying than when you fire eggs into a wok and you have it in a high heat and it sticks to the pan. Because I like my omelettes to be a work of art. I like my omelettes to be shapely and I like them to be aesthetic. Because I respect the food, and if it's going to be truly enjoyed, it needs to look a certain way. However, in order to make these omelettes satiating and beautiful, we need to add these bad boys. And that's 2 slices of cheese that I've cut. Because there's nothing better. There's nothing better than a cheesy omelette.
Why you made that?
I'm making it because it's healthy. And I'm showing YouTube what your daddy eats before he starts a day's training.
And that's all the way up there?
Yeah, that's all the way up there. Do you like that?
Yeah, and it's a circle.
It's a circle.
A big circle.
Oh, a big circle in your daddy's eye there. Give me a
A
hug.
big
Give me a hug.
circle.
I also forgot to add that you need to ensure that that fuel is properly running through the Burpee engine with a cup of coffee. Now the thing with coffee as well is that I used to be a massive coffee buff. I had the AeroPress or I had the cafetiere, and I would spend quite a considerable amount of time making coffee. But over time you realise that it's just about the caffeine hit, so that's when you start moving back to instant coffee, because it's 2 spoons, bang, in your system, done. No one wants to go to a petrol station and be putting hundreds of petrol in the motor, standing there for ages. They want it in fast, because that's the society we stay in nowadays, a fast society. And my coffee consumption reflects that. Hey you, come on. Oh, right, hold on, your daddy's eggs are cooking. Now, as you can see, that omellette's starting to take shape, and has that cheese bubbling away in the middle, bubbling. There's nothing better on God's green earth than a cheesy omelette. This is what I speak about when I refer to an aesthetic omelette. An aesthetic omelette is highly pleasing visually, and it also satiates, because you know it comes with the comfort that it's been prepared with loving and tender care. And you know that cheese is sitting in the middle waiting to explode in your mouth. Nutrition is the bedrock on which performance is fueled. If you are filling the car up with substandard fuel, then your MPG is going to decrease rapidly. And think of omelettes in the same light. That is a damn good omelette. You can taste the butter. The cheese is just sitting there waiting, because I strategically placed the cheese in the middle of the omelette and eat around it, because I always like to save the best till last. So, today, when it comes to training, I don't have a plan, which flies in the face of conventional thinking. People like to have a plan because it means that they're focused and it determines an outcome. However, I prefer a more chaotic approach, because chaos reduces the level of stress which a plan can bring. Because if you go into things with the mentality that you just need to train, then you are eventually going to hit the mark. As long as the proper ingredients are applied to this methodology, which is consistency and intensity. My dog. So, if we can always add consistency and intensity into the mix, then we will always ensure that progress is made. The adaptations which we are looking for will be created. And you'll see that as the video commences. So, stay tuned. We will move on to the next part of the breakfast, because it's not just an omelette. We need the carbs in there as well to fuel the burpee and training performance. Now, something else that I like to add to my breakfast is porridge. Porridge is just a Scottish staple, and it's probably one of the most nutritious things that I eat on a daily basis. The reason being is because it's very versatile. You can add so much things to porridge to boost up the nutrient value, to boost up the nutritional density. Now, I'm going to also be a bit of a hypocrite and say that I don't make traditional Scottish porridge. I get it in packs. And just to go back to what I said earlier, with regards to being efficient, because making porridge over a hot stove takes a while, man. It takes a while. So what I like to do is just zap this bad boy in a microwave, because it's ready in 2 minutes and it comes out at a nice consistency which is pleasurable. So porridge is prepared. Took 2 minutes. Now this is what I refer to when I speak to adding nutrients to the porridge, because porridge is just oats, bit of fibre, bit of beta glucogen or whatever it's called. I don't know. Just read that in the side of the pack. However, I like to add pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds they're calorie dense and they're packed full of seriously healthy fats to get your testosterone flying through your body, get the T levels up. Then I add chia seeds. Bit hipsterish, but lots of fibre. We need fibre as we get older because we need to keep those pipes pumping. And to continue the fibre theme, a wee bit of oat bran on top. Just to boost that fibre, just to make sure that old man River here can function as a normal human being. Now, here's the kicker. Here's the one that might blow people's minds. In the morning you're eating this, I like to put a wee bit of dark chocolate in there. I think dark chocolate is full of magnesium, which is vital, something that we don't get nowadays in our diet, very rarely. And when you whack it all in the Pyrex and just spin it round, you are creating a power porridge. A porridge which is so powerful, it is known to grow a man's beard by 2 inches within a span of 10 minutes. So if you're looking to grow a beard, maybe you should start eating this porridge as well. So that's pretty much how I begin the day. That's what I eat to start to get the engine running, so to speak, when it comes to a hard day's training. A nice simple breakfast, but highly efficient, packed with nutrients. With the eggs, you get the healthy fats, you've got the protein, that protein which is so bioavailable, because eggs are just gain food. They're food which is known to create muscle out of nothing. Then you get traditional Scottish porridge with an added twist, which is pumpkin seeds, chocolate, oat bran, and chia seeds. You cannot argue with the facts, man. That is how we roll in the Hazard household. Anyway, let's continue. Let's move on to the second phase of the day, which is hitting the gym. So as Willie Nelson famously sang, on the road again. And where does our road lead to? Our road leads to the gym. The gym, where gods are created, where burpees are fueled, where bodies are built, where minds are calloused. The gym. We're going to the gym, guys.
Yeah.
Daddy daycare at the gym.
Yeah. Daddy daughter day and Sunday.
Yeah, daddy daughter day and Sunday.
Oh, no.
So what's on the agenda for the gym today? What's in the menu? Well, I'll tell you this, there's nothing on the menu. It's laissez-faire. Because as I referred to a couple of hours ago, early morning, I don't have a plan at this point. Chaos is the plan. And I will do whatever takes my fancy. However, the key ingredients are consistency and intensity. However, in this context, the key ingredient is intensity. Because it doesn't really matter what we're doing, but if we approach it with a certain degree of intensity, then the fruit will bear from the tree, or the fruit will fall from the tree. Because the body will respond accordingly. As long as we are creating a situation where we have to adapt, then our work is done. And when you're in this game for a long time, you need to just continue to chip away. So what I'm thinking is I'll probably do 4 lifts today, and I'll probably try and incorporate all movement patterns. A push, a pull, a squat and a hip hinge, just to cover all bases, and I will attack them, but keeping recovery in mind, because I have a burpee session today as well. So that's something that we also need to make sure is at the forefront of our prefrontal lobes, which is that we need to factor in what we are also doing, because I like to train 2 or 3 times a day. So that's something that's always at the back of my mind when I am approaching a training session, particularly my gym sessions, because even though I want to bring a degree of intensity into the mix, I don't want to go too crazy in which it will impact my training sessions, which will take place further on in the day. So guys, I'm excited about this one because I've got the kids with me. I like the kids to see me train as well, because I think that that's influential. Even though they do not wish to take part in the training because A, they're too young, it's something that is soaking into their sponge-like brains, that they see their dad training, and as they start to mature and grow older, it's something that they will implement into their lives naturally. So are we excited, guys?
Yeah.
Is it gym time, guys?
Daddy?
Yes.
Why do sometimes you do yourself with Ronan?
I go to the gym with Ronan because I am trying to get him to build his muscles up. Because it's always good to have big muscles because it makes you big and strong.
And Dad, guess what I saw? I saw the cow in a sheep.
You seen a cow and a sheep?
Yeah.
That is superb. That's brilliant.
And
Did you see a cow and a sheep too, Rory?
And I saw the farmer getting milk out of the cow.
Oh, that's tremendous. We all like milk. What does milk do?
Then makes you get more muscles because it's made of protein.
Oh, this girl's a genius. Did you hear that? Protein. Anyway, guys, to the gym. Alright, so we are in the gym, Elite Gym Glasgow, one of the best gyms in the Glasgow area. I've been running for years, and with good reason, because it's a quality environment and it's where I make most of my gains. So how do we warm up? Well, I warm up with band pull-aparts or face pulls just to get the shoulders warmed up, because we know that in burpee land the shoulders are integral to the movement, and if the shoulder goes, then you go. If your shoulders ever go at any point, then you are in a world of shit. I think that's common sense. However, we need to keep the shoulders heavy, and we keep the shoulders heavy through band pull-aparts, face pulls, seated DB, power cleans and the like. These are the things that ensure our shoulders can remain bulletproof and stand us in good stead for when we do burpees. And there's an old famous Hollywood adage which is never train with children or animals. One of the good things about band pull-aparts as well is that they are fertiliser for the upper back and traps. I tend to find that the upper back in particular can be worked on a daily basis because it can handle a crushing amount of volume. So if you can train your upper back every day, then by all means go for it. You don't have to put it through the pain zone, but at the same time, just provide it with those little moments of stimulus, which is going to chip away and create that monstrous and efficient upper back area. So the first exercise that I'll probably attack today is the belt squat. The belt squat's tremendous because it really does take a load off the lower back and keeps it fresh. And that's something you need to keep in mind when you are performing high rep burpee routines, because there is a lot of spinal flexion that occurs. I've heard a lot of stories and comments of people injuring their back, so something that you always need to keep in mind. So if you can find a squat variation which is back friendly, then it would probably be best to pursue that movement instead of crushing your spine with a conventional barbell back squats, for example. Now, I tend not to go too heavy with belt squats because I want to fry my legs just with high reps, fast pace, just pump blood into the legs, because once again, I'm always trying to keep fatigue at a certain level because I want to make sure I have enough gas in the tank for the burpee sessions. So I'll probably work up 2 or 3 sets, high reps, just until I feel those legs burning, get a good pump in the quads. Then we move on to an upper body exercise to kind of allow certain areas to recover so we can go back and attack them. So I had to change the camera angle there because the tripod in this gym is fucking shite, as they say. So I've done 3 sets so far in this. We'll go for a final set. Just try and go to failure or close to it in that respect. Just get that blood pumping into the legs. Back always feels fresh, but this is a quad destroyer, man. An absolute quad destroyer. So that was about 3 or 4 sets on the belt squat. Tough exercise, especially when you're used to doing barbell squats your whole entire life. It's easy on the back, but it's one of those new movements which is going to send different signals to the brain, which means that not only are you struggling with the weight, but also the new movement patterns. But a great exercise just to get the session started, hitting the legs first, getting it out of the way, then moving on to the upper body to manage fatigue over the whole system. So now the next movement we go for is the classic chin-up, pull-up combination. And we will add weight as we progress through the sets. This is the ultimate back exercise in my opinion. Chin-ups are a staple. They are an absolute physique enhancer. And this is probably going to be a bone of contention, but this is something that burpee guys need to realise when they think they are going to build an awesome physique through burpees alone, which is not going to be the case. The only muscles you are going to build through burpees are the chest, triceps and shoulders. There is no back activation, there is no leg activation. And with that in mind, that is failing to take on board 2/3 of the body, focusing on 1/3. Now, we used to have a name for guys like that, and that was the guys who would always go in and just do a chest day, who would walk around with these pronounced chest and shoulders, but the rest of their physique was lacking. And you also have to take in mind, what is a physique? A physique isn't just 3 muscle groups, it is the full body. So, in my opinion, you need to incorporate a whack more than burpees into your training if you wish to develop a good physique. So if we are doing weighted chin-ups, we are looking to warm up with low reps because we don't want to gas ourselves out. We want to leave the focus on the heavier sets. That's where our money is earned. That is where our return on investment bears fruit. So we wish to put all our energy on the weighted portion. So when you are doing the unweighted portion, I would suggest that you keep the reps low and just get the body warmed up and get the technique dialed in. The name of the game with the weighted chin-ups as well is probably going for 2 sets to failure. However, we may add an intensifier at the end where we drop the weight and include a drop set, just incorporating body weight, just to get that extra volume into the chin-ups. As I said before, an integral movement of the burpee practitioner regime. When performing weighted chin-ups as well, I like to keep the technique spot on and really focus on the eccentric portion and that deep stretch at the bottom of the movement. That is going to bring your technique on leaps and bounds, but the muscle building potential from executing that technique will be rather significant. Another thing to consider when you're performing reps as well, and this is like a big debate in training, particularly resistance training, is do I go to failure or not? And there's 2 ways, in my opinion, you can approach this. You can go close to failure or leave reps in reserve. However, you're going to have to back that up with more sets so that the effective reps are equal in some respects, even though you're having to perform more work to get there. Or you can keep the sets low, but go to absolute failure on those sets. I think those are probably the best 2 ways to look at it. However, there's also that option to meet things in the middle ground, meaning that you can go to failure on your sets and also add volume in accordingly. However, it's down to how you decide to train, because at the end of the day, as long as the consistency and the intensity are there, you are going to gather results. That was a juicy set. Spicy. Succulent. Anyway, pull over. We've hit legs. We've hit pull. What's next? Okay, so I filmed my last set there, but realised that I had never actually pressed record, so I'm having to add another set in just for the purpose of this video. So this will be a short one. However, this is the last set. I've done enough today. I've done enough, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but let's just get this set over and done with, man. I'm watching, babe. What's up? That's amazing. Yeah. I am done. I am done. I was going to go for 4 exercises, but It's impossible when you're trying to train with kids. This is real busy dad material, having to train around the kids. Fortunately, I can use a facility where that's possible, but at the same time it's difficult because you need to keep an eye on these wee monsters. So, 3 exercises, a squat, a push, a pull, done in probably 30 minutes or so. Busy dad training. However, it's not what you do, it's the consistency you do it with, and it's the intensity you apply. That's what's going to create the results that you guys crave. So let's move on with training session number 2 in our sights, the burpee session. And just for clarification as to why I have to vacate the area, my children have decided to create their own mini gym within a gym, and at this point it's starting to get a bit outrageous. So, time to move on, guys. What do we want for lunch? Tatty's scones. Do you want some black pudding? No black pudding. Do you, wee man? All right, let's go. Let's get out of here and let's get some food. So here we are back in more familiar territory, and this is for training session number 2, the burpee focus training session. Now, as I already explained previously in the video, that workout in the gym had to be cut short because it was getting a bit intense with the kids, and sometimes you need to just admit defeat and move on. However, when we do our second session of the day, we can take the things that we missed, that we intended to do, and implement them with the burpee session, because it's not just all about burpees. You can obviously do things like kettlebell swings, kettlebell deadlifts, chin-ups, other bodyweight exercises. However, for this session I'm going to focus on 10 6-count burpees along with 10 kettlebell swings, so that I am incorporating that hip hinge movement into proceedings so that all bases were covered. Now, I know that the kettlebell swing's not like a strength movement or a hypertrophy focused movement, but it's a kick-ass movement. It has so much transferable skills and other facets of performance. It really is an essential exercise in some respects, and it gets your heart rate up to the max. And it gets your heart rate up into the stratosphere. So we will go with that session. Now, it's not going to be a full burpee routine like I used to do back in the day, just going to be quick edits, but hopefully I can get some words of wisdom in between sets and keep you guys educated and entertained. So let's get on with the burpees. And can I also add, it's been an eventful day because my friend Max Edwards, the quintessential burpee practitioner, has sent me one of his Busy Dad training t-shirts, and I must admit it's emphasising my traps nicely. So thank you very much, Max. You're an asset to the community and you're an asset to my dress sense and wardrobe. So without much further ado, let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10. So this combination, or this workout style, comes from the Tactical Barbell 2 conditioning book, and it's called Meat Eater 2, and it is stunning in its simplicity. And that's the beautiful thing with burpees, is once you go down the rabbit hole, you can start to add things into the mix so that you can hit the body from all angles and keep yourself entertained to a certain degree. because as much as I love burpees, they can become taxing mentally due to the rather boring nature of the exercise. Burpees will always be more of a mental grind as opposed to a physical one, because there is that point where you could do 6 counts all day. You could literally go for 5-6 hours doing 6 counts, breaking out 1,000 to 2,000 upwards. It is entirely possible. But sometimes, particularly for guys like myself who really do need variety to keep them on track, then it is advised that you bring other implements into play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10. 2, You cannot beat the kettlebell swing and burpee combo. It is tried and tested. Tried and tested in order to facilitate massive gains on both a conditioning perspective and a mental perspective, because it is a grind. It is an absolute grind. However, it's also not a pleasant experience. And why should it be? Exercise should never be pleasant. There's nothing worse than people who want to be entertained through the medium of exercise, which is a coping strategy for it being too difficult. Anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10. 10. Now, I just want to end things with a wee brain explosion, a wee bit of food for thought. And it's something that guys of a particular age and above should really take into consideration when they train. However, ultimately it is determined by your goals. But it's about payoff. It's about bang for buck. It's about training economy, and it's about efficiency. And it's also about the realisation of what you are capable of and the things that aren't so profound as they were when you were a younger person, say in your 20s, early 30s. and it's the aspect of conditioning overall. Now, the muscle building route is very attractive because muscle building is something that particularly tied in to men's sense of masculinity. When I was growing up, it was all about He-Man and Rocky Balboa, Arnold Schwarzenegger. We were presented with these physical specimens who were inspiring, and at the time they were unheard of. It was very rare to see someone built with that physical capacity on an aesthetic level. However, nowadays it's the norm. It's everywhere. It's saturated to the point where it can be quite overwhelming. And guys that are in my position, for example, have to think to themselves that the amount of work you're putting in and what you're getting back out, is it really worth it? And when we look at things through a muscle building perspective, you have to ask yourself, is building muscle worth this amount of work? What is muscle? What does it do for you personally? Now, does it enhance your life? Maybe it does on a mental level, but that's probably because there's something missing there, or you're trying to compensate for something in some respects. But ultimately, muscle is extra weight on the body. Your heart is not going to differentiate between the weight of body fat and muscle. It just feels weight bearing on it. Now, that's probably a deeper subject because I know that being obese and having fat in your body has other implications, but I'm just looking at it from a weight perspective. And guys in their 30s above, 40s even more so, have to really micromanage the muscle building process. Your volume has to be in order, your intensity has to be in order, your nutrition has to be in order, your recovery has to be on point, your sleep has to be on point. And when you factor in all these potential stressful situations, the outcome is extra grams of muscle. And sometimes you have to ask yourself, is it really worth it? Well, for some people it obviously is worth it because they work their asses off in the gym and they like to build muscle. However, what we need to look at that through is the lens of conditioning. Now, conditioning is probably not optimal for building muscle, but it can build muscle if you implement the right tools into your conditioning drills. So for example, body weight conditioning drills such as chin-ups, slow steady 6-count push-ups, kettlebell swings, body weight squats, they are not going to build Ronnie Coleman or Dorian Yates levels of muscle. However, what they are going to do is build a small degree of muscle, which might be noticeable, but they're also going to get you so fit. They are going to get you so capable of so many things, and that is the payoff. You are probably going to go at the expense of a few extra grams of muscle, but you're going to gain so much more in the long run. Namely your health and vitality and your ability to construct an engine, which means that you can go. And that's why conditioning for me is king, because ultimately you get the best of both worlds. You're going to build that little bit of muscle, but you are going to build an engine which is capable of taking on any road in the world. So that's food for thought. I think that conditioning is the route that most people of a certain age should be focusing on. I think it's got a bigger payoff, there's a bigger return on investment, and it's going to be something that clearly enhances your life on many levels. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. It's a bit of insight into how my day goes with regards to training. It's a bit patchy, but it's just something new I'm putting out there. But hopefully some people can gain some nuggets from it, get a bit of insight into how I structure my day training wise and what I do to keep the training voices at bay.